Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call to order the August 10th, 2026 Joint Finance Audit Budget and Internal Services Committee meetings. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I will take a motion to adopt the agenda.
Adopt the agenda.
Zinner, support.
Motion from Commissioner Romano, support from Commissioner Zinner. Seeing no comments, commissioners, please vote. Thank you. Next item is approval of minutes dated July 20th, 2026.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Support Zinner.
Motion from Commissioner Goyke, support from Commissioner Zinner. Seeing no comments or questions on the minutes, commissioners, please vote. Thank you. Next item is public participation. Anybody from the public wishing to speak on any item on today's agenda can come up to the mic and have 3 minutes to speak. Anybody from the public wishing to speak?
Good afternoon, Commissioner. On behalf of the citizens of Macomb County and me being one of them, I'd just like to share with you that you're going to hear an excellent report about the Central Intake and Referral Center. It's just marvelous, the team that we put together, the working relationship between the Board of Commissioners, the County Executive's Office, Mark Delvin, people in the Facilities and Operations, Macomb IT, the Finance Department. Everybody has just worked so well, and as a consequence of working so well, we're on time and under budget. The whole project has been marvelous so far. One thing that's happened, and I'm not sure that you're aware of, and that's why I'm taking the liberty to bring it to your attention. In the world of correctional construction, there's a journal, and the journal is Correctional News. It's published bi-monthly. It goes throughout the nation, and there's an article in there about the Macomb County Central Intake and Referral Center, the relationship that we have with one another to make it happen, to make it a success that it is. I don't know if you've happened to see this article, but it is outstanding. It demonstrates the work that can be done with other counties. It labels our program as being a national leader, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to share it with you in the event you haven't seen the article. I'll give it to Crystal or the chair, whomever you like. But it really represents what a good project it has been for the county, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Amboyer. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Anyone else from the public? All right, seeing none, we'll close public participation. There's one more before the end of the meeting, and we will move on to item 6, which is going to be presentations. I will take a motion to receive and file the Central Intake and Assessment Center quarterly project update for August of 2026.
So move. Perna.
Motion from Commissioner Haas, support from Commissioner Perna. Ben, you already had the kickoff, man, so. Go
Don
ahead.
did all the talking for me. This is great. So today, we have our quarterly presentation, our quarterly project update. As Don mentioned, I couldn't be more proud of what's happening out there. It's a very busy site. If you haven't driven by lately, even in the hottest of weather, there's a whole lot of folks milling around the site inside of the facility, as well as all the work we're getting done in the tower. So without further ado, I'll have Plymer start their slide presentation. Brian? Thanks.
Yep, thanks, Ben. Afternoon, Commissioners. Great to be in front of everybody again today, and I appreciate everybody having me. So without further ado, I've got plenty of intro here, so I will run right into the slide deck. So as you've all seen before, I will quickly kind of push through the mission and the other items there and try to get right into the fun stuff of the current construction status. So as you've been aware, obviously the project goals and the missions, I won't reiterate this for the 7th time now, but if you guys want to review it, obviously it's there again. Additionally, going through project funding, as Don, Dr. Amboyer, and Ben have both mentioned, we are on time and are within budget. So that continues to be the trend moving forward as we work through the projects. Everyone's aware of construction projects and its ups and downs, and we are trending in the right direction. For the procurement status, we are still working through a couple of the remaining items, basically move management here and working through the FF&E consultants you see there. We've been working with interior environments, but haven't locked them down complete yet as far as this overall procurement service. Moving through the construction services, technology, and FF&E. So the AV equipment is still in process to be actually bought out. Some of the other technology and video surveillance items are planned to be bought out, and some of those additional phases I think the IT team will be bringing to you today. The office furnishing, equipment, and medical is planned to use interior environments pending the final of their actual proposals. And then we're working on the interior signage and exterior signage. That procurement process is in process as well. Design status, so as a lot of you have seen, some of the items that are going to roll with that is we've demolished a lot of buildings as you've seen out there. The rehab demo will occur in this October as we kind of work through the final portions of the removal process to install the new CIAC and all the updates to the current jail itself. Just a kind of reminder of the overall site plan so you can see how the CIAC interacts with the existing jail. Some of the renderings that you've seen in the past, no major changes. So you've seen, if you've been out there recently, it looks strikingly like this, so that's great. Kind of looking around from some of the different angles and see how this will eventually grow and tie in to the overall campus. Some of the entryway and what the interior lobby will look like. Some of the areas from the courtyard to some of the staff locker spaces. You've got the transitional housing and how the interior will develop. Fresh air courts and day rooms. Then you have the pre-admin and clinical waiting. And then for the fun stuff, the actual construction update. So as you kind of see from the pictures here, the exterior glazing is substantially complete. As you've probably driven by, you see at the top the mechanical penthouse. The exterior metal panel on that is substantially complete as well. Unfortunately, you can't see it from the outside, but the inside is, they're busy bees in there working on mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-in. That's ongoing on every level as finishes work their way from the basement up. Metal stud installation is about substantially complete. A couple of areas are left out for constructability reasons, but all the main framing is completed. The roof is weather tight and finalizing insulation. When I was writing this, now actually insulation is complete on most of the lower levels. And you'll see some photos of what that finished product looks like here shortly. And then detention wall panels, those are ongoing. They're complete on levels 1 and 2, and they're working through on levels 3 and getting working on level 4. And then the rooftop air handling units have been set in place and are being connected mechanically and electrically ongoing basically throughout the facility. Some of the pictures you see here, so in the upper left-hand corner is another exterior photos, just kind of getting a good visual representation of how well that aligns with the vision that was put into that rendering. The center picture you see there is a finished roof product with the asphalt membrane out on top of it, just showing how everything is maintained. On the upper right-hand photo there, that is the future fresh air courtyard and some of the finished block that's going to be in place there. And then on the lower left, you can see some of the corridors in place and just all of the mechanical, electrical that has to go on for that, including the drywall that's in place. The center lower photo, that is the detention wall panels on the first level and those detention spaces, including doors. On the right, that is the second level with the mechanical and electrical chases that are above it for access and for all of the plumbing utilities and electrical lighting that go into the cells themselves. Into the capital improvements project on the existing jail. The utility renovations in the E-pod are completed, and they've moved on to the F-pod, and that is ongoing. So that is the last pod section that we've called it. It's going to get those improvements throughout the jail. And then we'll actually be finalizing fire alarm upgrades and then moving into the rehab demo, which you've seen previously. The new chillers for the facility have been installed, tested, commissioned, and are operational. The network switches upgrades that we've worked with the IT folks to finalize that after they completed that. It's solved a lot of the issues that the current staff has been going through, so that's been a great improvement. I think everyone working at the current facility is happy about that. The new generator renovations, if you've driven by, those are ongoing as well as they work on replacing that with a updated unit. Elevator modernization is ongoing throughout the facility. And the updated HVAC systems you can see in this photo here is that unit being lifted up is kind of ongoing and being installed and up and running, and I'm sure the staff is thankful for that. Some of the photos you see here on the left, so this is the new fire command center that will take care of the CIP and also be connected to the CIAC once that is completed. The renovations there are ongoing, getting good brick matches and installing some of the doors there. The center photo on the top, that is the connector that connects the CIAC to the CIP, and we're working on the slab on deck preparations that's probably even placed at this point from when I put this together. Below you see the temporary generators that are in place while the renovations to the generator enclosures are ongoing. And on the right, you can see the structural steel for that connector that was put into place to basically connect the two facilities into one. Project schedule, I won't bore you by going through all the individual activities, but as Ben and Dr. Amboyer did say, we are on time and on budget. We are keeping in mind the top for the ARPA funding completion, and we are on track to complete that in time for the deadline window. So the teams have been working very diligently on that, so that's everything positive there. With that, I will go to questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for the update. We do have a few questions. We'll start with Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. Not really a question, just a statement. You know, it's, I've got to say, it's got to be kudos, not only to you, Ben, Dr. Amboy, the whole staff, the whole people put something this size together of this magnitude and not only be on budget, but be on target date. I mean, it's unprecedented. It really is. It's unprecedented. Plant Moran overseeing this. What else could we ask for when things are going along so well? And I have to admit that I was one of those doubters, because when this was approved and I voted for it, I thought to myself in the back of my mind, how soon are they going to come back for some more money? And thus, I'm telling you like I feel it, and you haven't. And again, I congratulate you. I congratulate Plant Moran. You guys are doing an outstanding job. The whole crew is. That's all I have. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ha.
Thank you, Chair. I'll follow on Commissioner Romano, because in your presentation under budget status, I didn't hear you say loudly, project continues to be on time and within budget. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Ha. I see no other speakers. Commissioners, please vote. Thank you. Thank you again to the entire team. We appreciate you being here and giving us the update and all the work you're all doing. Next, we'll move on to item 7A, department recommendations, a budget amendment, non-departmental capital outlay from general fund balance, capital outlay projects in the amount of $75,000. I will take a motion to recommend this to full board.
So move, Wallace.
Support?
Motion from Commissioner Wallace, support from Commissioner Romano. John, come on down.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This $75,000 appropriation is from fund balance to our non-departmental capital outlay budgeted item for projects that are below the $50,000 threshold as set forth in the purchasing policy to bring items to the board. This would allow expedience to continue with capital projects that are, like I said, above the $5,000 threshold, but below the $50,000 threshold. We've currently identified about $121,000 worth of projects that fall into that. We did provide that to the board. I'm not sure if it made it into the packet, but there's about $121,000. So I do anticipate us needing to come back again, probably around the beginning of the fourth quarter of the year for an additional request, and we can update you guys along the way of what the additional items are on that, as well as the additional amount needed to kind of cover those items. Like I said, these are just the small capital improvement that are below the $50,000 threshold, but just to kind of keep you guys apprised of those items.
Thank you, John. Commissioner Howard.
He answered it. I was going to ask, what was this project for? It was not in our backup.
Yeah. It's not one project in particular. There's like a list of projects that fall above the capitalization threshold of $5,000 and below the board required amount of $50,000 to bring forward, so.
Got you. I'll just have to look at it after
Yep.
you said you sent it over. I'll just look at it then.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Hey, John. These projects that you're talking about for 121,000 specifically, were these pooled anywhere in the actual capital plan for the year, or where were these projects?
Where were the projects? We did send over a list of like that outlined all the projects that were identified in our capital plan. Can get my
No,
phone.
but where were they housed? Like, obviously, they were budgeted somewhere. Where,
Oh, yeah,
where were
I
they
mean, they
budgeted?
are, yeah, they are in the capital plan. They're just.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, so are they pieces, or are they the actual amounts that were in the plan? I mean, you could pick one. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just curious.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I mean, I could pull that list specifically for you and send it to you if you'd like,
Okay.
but like, you know, just going through the list, there's just, I mean, like, you know, what page is this? 6, like there's you know, there's projects that are like 3,000 or 3,800, 10,000, 3,500, 19,000. So they're just an accumulation.
Okay. And we don't have this 75,000 in the CIF fund. We don't have this existing in our cash reserves at all that we could use it, but we have to go to the general fund?
It's from the fund, it would be money appropriated from the fund balance, the line item within the general fund that we would typically move the money from the capital outlay, the non-departmental capital outlay item to the capital improvement fund has been exhausted for the year. So each project will have to come forward to you. It's just how we're allocating those funds kind of moving forward. So this would be for the items that are below the $50,000 threshold.
Okay, so just for clarity here, so I did my numbers. We had budgeted in the CIP plan $287 million in projects. That's what's in the plan, the total between building and technology. That includes the CIAC, the VERC, Southeast Health, which equates to about 252 million and change. So when the budget was recommended to us, we have 14.5 budgeted in the budget.
Yeah, 14.5 million.
So we're about $18 million off here. So is the intention to take the difference out of general fund going forward?
Yes, the intention, if the projects were approved moving forward, they would have to come from the general fund balance to be able to continue with those projects.
Okay, that answers my question for right now, Chair. Thank you, John.
Yeah, and just to give you guys an update, there was a $2 million increase into the fund balance from over the 25 fiscal year. So we had about $25 million at the end of 2024 in fund balance reserves. In the general fund, that increased $2 million, about 127, with a total, including the restricted portion, at 133 million. So there's about $6 million there that's restricted. So.
Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. I would be interested in seeing the list also. That's just all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, we had asked them at the end of the week for a list and that information, and it came to us later because we asked it later. So we're kind of just pouring over it as well. So that should be to all of you if you haven't seen it yet. Take a look at it before full board because there are, as Chair Sabatini stated, there's projects on here that I guess I'm wondering. I know that they're capital in nature, but if we were to vote this down, are any of these items that could come out of the budget for the individual department as we're getting towards the end of the year and we start seeing if there's funds left over, funds that were unspent on other projects? You know, are the, you know, because some are $5,000, some are $8,000, you know, are these something that could be funded internally through those departments as opposed to going to the general fund and the non-capital? Or the,
Yeah, they couldn't come forward they couldn't come forward to you without an appropriation of those funds, which is the intent of this. So this would appropriate the funds, and then any project over $50,000 as required by the purchasing ordinance would require an additional approval. This is just to kind of capture the projects that are below that $50,000 threshold. So,
Thank you, John.
and I do, like I said, I do anticipate us having to come forward again. So we'll, you know, keep you guys updated on that list as we kind of move forward.
Thank you, John. All right, commissioners, are there any other questions? I don't see any. Commissioners, please vote to move this to Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, thanks. So I'm just going to go on Commissioner Kraft's this idea just now there. So if it's the clerk's office and then they have money coming in out of that, it can't be used out of their funds at all? We still got to go back to the general fund?
The clerk's separate from the general fund. This is just directly to the
Yeah, but I mean,
projects that fall within the general fund.
So what I'm saying is if the work that has to be done, it's in the clerk's building for the necessary stuff of that department. I'm just saying, or the treasurers or public works or the sheriff department, money coming in that's out of their regular budget cannot be used for fixing these.
So all those items would roll into the fund balance at the end of the year. So this is just an appropriation of those fund balance items. So any unspent funds at the end of the year roll into fund balance. This is us taking the fund balance and appropriate it to a capital improvement line item. So it
from all
could,
departments,
it
okay.
could be, it would just roll into the fund
All right,
balance. Yep.
all right, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Commissioner. Chair Sabatini's going
Thank
to.
you. John, just to follow up Commissioner Goike's comment there, have we asked these departments if they're able to find these small amounts in their existing budget to put towards this request?
Not directly to it, but like I said, any unspent funds within their budget at the end of the year would then kind of roll into the fund balance, and this is just reappropriating the fund balance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Any other commissioners?
Yep, Mr. Kraft, I'm sorry if I may.
You're not even, at least Commissioner Goike got on the screen. Commissioner Romano, go ahead.
I'm listening to this conversation, so, and I'm listening to these amounts that are coming up, and they seem, compared to what we just got through paying for a jail, it's like water and a drop in an ocean, but I think there's a point made here that these individual departments could absorb these costs without taking it out of the general fund.
Because of the capitalization, they're all in the general fund.
Yeah.
So all the departments are within the general fund. So any unspent funds of theirs at the end of the year roll into the fund balance. So what you're suggesting is going to each individual department and taking something directly out of their budget and putting it into this line item, which would be done if they had unspent funds at the end of the year regardless. This is where that pool comes from, is the unspent funds at the end of the year. And we're just reappropriating that to the capital outlay item, because anything over $5,000 needs to be capitalized at the end of the year per the capitalization threshold for the county.
And we're getting a list of those, you're going to provide a list? Do we have that list?
The list has been
Okay,
provided.
that's all I have. Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry.
Thank you. You're fine, Commissioner Romano. Commissioner Howard on the second round.
I feel weird voting on this, to be honest, because we don't have the list, and so I feel like I'm voting with less than 50% of the information, which obviously this is just to get it out of committee. We can vote on it on full board. But you referenced in your remarks that that you guys are going to come back before us. So in my head, that sounds like you have projected out what projects are going to be coming between August and December.
Yes, there is a list that's been provided.
I would love to see what those projects are as well, because it sounds like this is something that we're going to be doing somewhat often. It'd be nice to see that.
Absolutely. We'll continue to do that. Yeah, we'll provide that list forward. Like I said, this is $75,000 of $121,000. So I do anticipate we will need additional funds to cover additional projects. As that list kind of comes in, we'll provide that list to you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lucido.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just a little confused on why we were so far off with estimating how much we were going to need for these projects when we originally did the budget in January or last fall.
I don't have the direct answer for you. I don't know that we were. I think that's just the amount that was agreed upon at the time to kind of move forward.
Okay. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else?
Sorry, I started something.
Okay, I don't see any.
That's-
Commissioners, please vote. Thank you, John.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Next, we'll have correspondence. I'll take a motion to receive and file the open bids as of August 10th, 2026.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Howard, support from Commissioner Wallace. Seeing no comments or questions, Commissioners, please vote.
Passes 11-0.
Thank you. With that, I will turn it over to Chair Sabatini for Internal Services Committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm the backup of the backup today, so bearing with me here. We'll go with Internal Services Committee Department recommendations. First item is 10A. This is a contract with Spalding DeDecker for New Health and Community Services Building and Land Survey for $55,250. Need a motion to recommend the full board.
Motion to recommend full board.
Support.
Moved by Romano, supported by Lucido. Ben?
Hello, again. I am seeking approval amount of $55,250 for pre-designed civil survey for the new HNCS building previously, or design, I should say, previously approved by the board. It's through Spalding DeDecker Associates. The area requiring survey consulting services approximately 33 acres in total, which includes some buildings, parking lots, sidewalks, vegetation, and other associated site amenities. This is required due diligence needed prior to design services. 3 bids were obtained and Spalding DeDecker was the lowest qualified bidder.
Thank you, Ben. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Chair. So you're saying this is a requirement, Ben,
Yeah,
to
this is
move forward?
pre-design information, so it's gonna be boundaries, topography, existing constraints, things like that for the architects to build off of.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Seeing no other questions, please vote.
Thank you.
Okay, next is budget amendment for capital improvement fund for general fund balance for the sheriff's office, access control system, phase 2. I'll take a motion to recommend 10B and 10C to full board.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Haas, supported by Romano. Jacob?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is a request that will complete the replacement of the old key scan system to access county buildings with a badge. It will also bring it in line with the new system being implemented for CIAC so that county employees carry only one badge for all county facilities. This system will also be integrated with the jail door security system that we brought to you in May of this year. Like I said, this is the last part of this project to bring it in line. Really, the last part of it would be completion of CIAC.
Thank you, Jacob. Commissioner Ha?
Thank you, Chair. Jacob, 2 questions. Is this going to be a uniform system for all the buildings throughout the county?
That's correct.
That's the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. And the next agenda item is for the Juvenile Justice Center. For the sheriffs, it was 425. For the Justice Center, it was 900,000.
Yeah.
Almost double.
So the Justice Center is a
Personally,
different-
I would think the jail would cost more.
Yeah. The Justice Center is a different type of project. It is a closed circuit system that they had in the past, and we're putting it on the same surveillance environment as the rest of the county. That's obviously not for general use, for everybody. That's really just for the JJC. I cannot comment on exactly what the, why the cost is double, but it's the same equipment and same systems. I don't know.
One is video cameras, one is badge.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
sorry, that system is for video cameras, surveillance system
For the Justice Center?
in the justice system. Yep,
Okay,
Juvenile
thank you.
Justice Center.
Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question about the badge system, Jaco. So you said once the CIAC is complete, that's pretty much the final phase of implementation, correct?
That's correct.
So once that's complete, I know it's taken us some time to do the changeover in the entire county. When it comes to maintenance and things like that, when we started way back on day one with that system, how does the maintenance work? How long does the system last? Are there upgrades that are needed? What does that look like in terms of once the project is finally complete?
Well, when we started this originally, when the CIAC started, we also had to deal with the rest of the county because the systems were getting old and we had to start replacing those. And that's why we decided we will do this, for all the county buildings. We'll do the replacement, but kind of in unison with the CIAC to make sure that we use the same badge system everywhere in the county. Maintenance is obviously by one organization. And then, going through that process, it'll be much easier once everything is completed. Our system is new, so we expect it to function much more efficient as it did before.
Thank you, Jaco. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioners, I don't see any other questions on this item. Please vote. Okay, next is budget amendment for capital improvement fund for the general fund balance for the Juvenile Justice Center video surveillance for $900,930. I need a motion to recommend this to full board, items 10D and 10E.
Support Zinner.
Moved by Howard, supported by Zinner. Jacob?
This is, the system we just talked about at Juvenile Justice Center. This system, one of the commissioners asked the other day how old the system was, and I didn't have the information with me. I said older than 15 years. The system is actually 22 years old. It was a closed circuit system that was put in place back then, and it's really becoming very cumbersome and difficult to manage. So this system will be replaced with current technology. The staff will be able to monitor their areas more efficiently using the high quality and easily accessible video cameras.
Thank you, Jaco. Any questions on this here? I don't see any questions. I just have a quick question. So is this an analog system that we
No,
currently have?
Yeah, the
We
old one, I'm quite honestly not sure, but I can imagine that it is analog.
Okay, so we're going digital. The request is to go digital. Okay. And then for the 900,000, this was in the plan. So I guess my question is the priority for this project over something else in this plan related to IT or F&O, why was this one chosen for $900,000?
This one was chosen just because Juvenile Justice Center approached us last year, if I remember correctly, beginning of last year, started the process. And it's been an ongoing project, and it's just, for us, it's time to do it because of the age of the system and so forth. They also wanted us to help support the system. I don't know if I mentioned before, but we didn't put in the original system and didn't manage or support it. So this system will be completely supported by us, obviously, and the vendors.
Does the system work as it is right now?
the system work as I know. I'm not exactly sure how well it works.
Come on up.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Robin Lentz, Deputy Director at the Juvenile Justice Center. I can speak to this a little bit. The system is functioning, but not the way that we need it to. So we have about 20 cameras that are down, including our entry into the building, our entry into administration. So we don't even have eyes on where our staff are entering and exiting the building. We are staffed 24 hours a day. So we have staff that are entering, coming in for an 11 p.m. shift, exiting early in the morning when it's still dark. So it really is a safety concern. We have a number of other cameras that are down that affect our day-to-day operations. We have residents that come in for intake, we have visitation. So it really is, the cameras that are up are functioning, but we cannot replace the cameras that have gone down. We can't get them fixed or back online because the technology is too old. We've had a lot of issues with the hardware, the software, again, because they're outdated. So we really pride ourselves on being an incredibly safe facility for the youth, for our staff, and we really need this to continue to hold that reputation.
So you said the system's 22 years old?
Yes.
When do we start identifying problems with the actual system?
My understanding is as early as early last year, I know Ms. Westphal, I think, started kind of identifying this like February of 2025, and it was kind of an ongoing project.
Yeah, since beginning of last year.
Jaco, in regards to like all of our video, I know we've talked about video in the past with all of our buildings. Are all of our buildings up to date? Because, I mean, hearing this today, it's 22 years old. So, like, why wasn't this put into the plan sooner, I guess?
Like I said, this was a closed circuit system that was implemented by JJC 22 years ago. It was not something managed by IT in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And Rhonda Westphal, at some point in time, maybe end of 24, roundabout there, talk to me and say, listen, we would really like to replace this system. It's getting very old. And it's really because of that.
Okay, we got a few questions. Commissioner Zinner?
Thank you, Chair. If this is voted in, when would this be able to be replaced? And how long would that take, do you think?
The work will start, as soon as we can, as soon as we can get equipment in here and the vendor scheduling it. Obviously, when we start or when we get approval, we have to work with the vendors to do that. The length of implementation, I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I think based upon approval now, we're looking at January, February completion.
Okay.
I didn't hear him.
January, February completion, 2027.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Kraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, sounds like it's been about a year and a half since the problem was identified, give or take, if you're saying last February. Has there been any research done into any outside funding, grants or anything like that from the state or the DOJ or anything of that sort to either cover the cost or help with the cost of the project?
We have not done any research, obviously from an IT standpoint, no.
Anybody from JJC, anybody from the exec's office? I mean, I know we're pretty good at getting grants around here, so I'm just curious if that's a path that was looked at all.
I'm not aware. I could obviously look into that and get some more information.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep, Commissioner Howard.
My question was along the same as Commissioner Kraft's. If I remember correctly, when we did the intercom system, wasn't there some state funding additional to that, or am I remembering wrong? Because we did the intercom system last year, correct? Was there what? I can't remember if we received funding from the state because the state runs part of that, or am I remembering that correctly. I was just curious on why isn't the state adding funds to this project, considering. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll talk to Phil about it later. Thank you.
Just the scope of this project does not include any cameras on the state side of the facility.
Oh, okay. Thank
So
you.
that's probably why. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, why don't you ask that?
Okay, seeing no other questions, I have some further questions on this, but I'm going to support it today to move it to full board for Thursday. Please vote, commissioners.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next item we are in F, agreements, IT maintenance agreements for third quarter 2026 for $308,234,000. This is for Carpel for the prosecutor's office and for Trace 3 antivirus protection. I need a motion to recommend these to full board.
So moved.
Moved by Howard,
Support.
supported by Lucido. Jaco?
Commissioners, we have two maintenance items today. The first one is Carpel, which is the case management system for the prosecutor's office at $155,100 maintenance for the year. And then the second item is CrowdStrike antivirus that we at IT use for our organization to secure all county devices. And that is at $134.
Thank you, Jaco. Seeing no questions, please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next is item G. This is a purchase with HP for 458 Probook laptops for $504,258. I need a motion to recommend this to full board.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Wallace, supported by Perna. Jaco?
Commissioners, this is the last request for laptops in 2026, which we have budgeted for. With unit pricing, we came in March, April to ask for $1.5 million, for our operational spending for this year. The total of that 1.5 million, 1 million of that money was allocated towards laptops and other types of computers. We're asking for 458 laptops in the amount of $504,258. We are purchasing this through an Omnia contract, the same as we did last month. We were here and they extended the same pricing for another month to us at $1,101 per device.
Thank you, Jaco. We got some questions. Commissioner Lucido?
Thank you. How many laptops are you able to set up per day? Like if you're purchasing 458 new laptops, how many are you able to exchange with the person, that's working on it per day?
Commissioner, we do most of this after hours because we obviously don't want to affect people during the day when they do their jobs. What we do is we do this with what we call packages that we send remotely to these computers and stage them and build them out. We can really, in one night, probably anywhere from 50 to 100 computers we can roll out. It all depends on the departments, on the size of the job, because the staff that do the rollouts that night need to be ready the next day to support, whatever we put out there. So some are larger, some are smaller rollouts, but we schedule them and, aggressively work towards getting them in. A large part of it also, we have to wait until the equipment comes in.
So if you're doing these in the evening, then that's requiring overtime?
Yes.
Okay. And approximately how much are you spending on the overtime pay to fulfill?
Our overtime budget every year, we spend probably $150,000 on overtime in our organization.
And secondly, there's about 3,000 computers in the county.
Yep.
Why are we not on more of a like annual schedule where we're replacing like 600 per year, like just to make it even?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to budgeting, like our budget, it'd be a lot easier if we're doing like the same amount every year and it's just standard, like every 5 years, every year we're doing 600 and keeping it on that kind of rotation.
In 2020, we got, I think, 1.5 million roundabout there of CARES Act money. And that was the time then obviously a lot of people needed laptops so they can work remotely. We invested that money in buying, you know, probably I think it was 1,300, 1,400 laptops, might have been more than that. When we did that, it really, so you do it, we have a 5-year replacement plan, 5 years later, we have to replace 1,300 laptops. What we did was we split it up between last year and this year, so that we can break it up to exactly what you say, that we have less per year. We always try to do that, but it's not that easy to, you know, to do that. So we try to schedule it so it's more evenly distributed, but it's also how you purchase them. And when their warranties expire, not warranties, but our 5-year replacement plan expires.
Oh, yeah, because we'll be at about 900 this year, almost 900.
Yep.
You know, I would just like to see like a more, like, if we have to keep them for an extra year to help adjust with that time, get them more even, so it's, for budgeting purposes, it's more of a standard amount every year instead of like these large costs, because not only is it the cost of the laptops, but it's also the cost of the overtime they're paying for them to set these laptops up, because it can't be done during the workday, so, thank you, that's all I have.
Absolutely agree.
Commissioner Howard?
Hey, Jacob, how are you doing today?
Doing good, how are you?
I'm curious on, last month we did 433 laptops, 7 desktops. Why wasn't this 458 laptops brought to us last time? Because I was under the impression that when we bought those laptops last month, that was it for the year. So, I mean, clearly I was wrong. So I was just curious, why wasn't this 458 brought to us then?
So I think about two and a half, maybe 3 months ago, we brought the first batch of the laptops to you, which wasn't approved, and then we came back 2 months later, and which was last month, and that was approved. And this was really the final batch that we wanted to do for the year. So, you know, we probably could have brought the whole amount to you. You know, what we're also trying to do is to space them throughout the year. When we bring you unit pricing in the beginning of the year, usually if it's stable, we can buy maybe 4 times during the year, because every time you buy them, they start running warranties on them as soon as you purchase them. So now if you buy all at once, then you cannot implement all at once. So we just do the best way we can. The other things that we run up against is supply or supply lines. We run many times towards the end of the year into situations where they cannot supply us fast enough. And if it comes in after December 31st, we have to pay for this from next year's budget, which is obviously detrimental to my department. So we try to balance it as best possible.
Thank you for that explanation. Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Jacob, just a couple quick questions. So you said about $150,000 in overtime. Is there a way to do this type of process in smaller tiers? Like, for example, if we were going to buy, I don't know, 50 laptops a month and just go through a process where we wouldn't have to pay overtime, we'd just be able to kind of put in your normal day-to-day operations. Is that something that's doable, or does it have to be done in these, 500 laptop trunk purchases?
Well, pricing this year require us to do this because the vendors doesn't want to give us better pricing if we don't purchase, large amounts.
Okay.
Usually we can purchase Because we have unit pricing, we can purchase one laptop for the same price, or 10, or 20, or 100. That's much easier for us than to scale that over the year and roll it out that way. We do work with departments. Sometimes there are departments that tell us, we willing on a Friday afternoon for you to come in and start doing stuff like, roll computers out. It's very difficult, departments are busy with their own days and so unfortunately, from that standpoint, we do quite a bit of overtime. The over 150,000 that I'm talking about for overtime, it's not just for computer rollouts. It's for managing our back-end servers, things like that. When something breaks at nighttime, we have 4 people on call. Those people get overtime when they called in at night, after hours. There's quite a bit of that going on too, but the larger part of this is for computer replacements.
Okay. When you say large purchases, what's considered a large purchase? 500 and over, 200 and over? Like what equates to a better price for us?
I don't know what the breakpoints now is, Tony, what, in your last negotiations?
If you can come to the mic, because commissioners can't hear you.
For this year with pricing the way it is and everything going up and IT prices skyrocketing, it was different and it was hard to negotiate. And I just gave them the flat amount that we were going to purchase for the entire year. I said, this is what we need, and we need the best price we can get. And we compared that pricing with Lenovo and Dell, and HP and Dell were comparable, and we're an HP shop, so we stuck with HP. That's how it went.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions, please vote. Commissioner Perna?
Perna. James,
Jim Perna.
I think he's busy reading.
you okay over there?
Did you
Oh.
vote? Was you sleeping?
Yes, he is. Just-
You all right, Jim?
Oh, stop laughing.
Stop.
I'm gonna hit you both.
Okay, next is public participation. This is the second opportunity for public participation for anyone who'd like to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any issue. Anyone from the public like to speak? Going once, twice. We'll close public participation. Commissioner comments? I don't see any commissioner comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Moved by Kraft, supported by Romano.